No place like the Cube.
Coming across your airwaves, dance with me. It's an intersection all day. And it's gonna bring you the weekly.
Family, is the news overwhelming? Is it just too much? Well, I get you, and I got you.
Yeah.
Family, happy Pride. You know, I'm your favorite queer radio personality, Anna Deshawn, and this is Queer News, your favorite weekly news pod where race and sexuality meet politics, culture, and entertainment. This is your number one stop for queer news done right, only on E3 Radio.
We are here for the legacy of queer people, trans people. We are taking up space in ways. We have to take up space. We have to shift the paradigm. So I just want to say thank you all so much for this incredible honor. The world right now is deeply, deeply combating so many ailments. And we know as a society that when we come together, we can make real, permanent change. Thank you so much for this honor.
Now, did you watch the Tonys last night? I promise I went to sleep. When I woke up, my timeline was filled with just joy and singing and dancing and queerness and probably the most amazing opening to the Tonys I have absolutely ever seen. And that clip you just heard was a snippet of Queen Jean's acceptance speech at the Tonys for her win for Best Costume Design for the queer ballroom reimagining of the musical Cats, The Jellicle Ball. Queen made history last night as the first openly trans woman to win a Tony. And let me just say this, she created 500 looks for this production, 500. And so many had Easter eggs of queer history, or they just flat out celebrate queer culture and history. If you get an opportunity to watch some of the coverage of the Jellicle Ball, do it. It's nothing but absolute brilliance. And how fitting that it took place during Pride Month. Especially for Queen, who I have known her as a community organizer, a community activist, someone speaking up for the people. And to make history in this month, during this time, during this reality that we're all having to live in, man, ain't nothing like some queer joy like this during Pride Month. Congratulations, Queen. We did it. We have moved to Substack. And let me tell you, there has already been an increase in engagement. More people have watched and engaged with my exclusive QCrew videos more than ever before. We just dropped our Chicagoland lesbian business directory. I'm shortening it to the CLBD. Okay, big ups to Jacoby for coming up with that. And that has been going extremely well. I've never had so much engagement on a post as I had when we announced the CLBD. This move is proving to be just what we needed in this moment. Not only for discoverability, for the creation of content, for the growth that is needed for us to sustain this podcast. Now, let's hit the goal, right? My goal is 1,000 paid subscribers. I believe we can do it. The push is on, and I'm excited to share with you all the content we've been capturing to celebrate lesbian-owned businesses here in Chicago, but also just the amazing events and programs that are happening in the city and also just across the country. So, if you believe in the work we do, if you believe LGBTQ stories need to be amplified, come on, join the QCrew. Subscriptions start as low as $5 a month. queernewspod.substack.com. And you already know, a link is where? In the show notes. QCrew, you always get a special thank you from me for your continued commitment to helping me sustain this podcast. I believe the QCrew, soon enough, will not only be able to cover the costs of Ryan, but also of our producer and my assistant, Laren, who all make this podcast possible every single week. Every single week. So come on, join the QCrew, okay? And don't forget, the Queer News tip line stays open. It stays open. If you got a local news story, a queer organization, a song coming out, drop me a queer news tip. I love hearing your voices on the podcast. You know, it's all in the show notes. Now for the news. Our top story is a real sobering one as we remember the 11 trans lives lost since March. In politics, Trump's trans ban is blocked in D.C. He takes another L. And it's the 10th anniversary. Can you believe this? It's the 10th anniversary of the Pulse Nightclub Massacre. Let's talk about that. In culture and entertainment, Durand joins Kehlani on her world tour, and Level Up Sporting Club has opened in Wrigleyville. Let's get into it all. For our top news story today, Pride Month is a celebration. It's a month of celebration, but it is also a month of activism and remembrance. Family, since March, 11 of our trans siblings have lost their lives. And if you've been listening to this pod since March, you remember when I reported on that first person because I was taken aback that it was the first report of the year in March, which is really a sad statement. But I was really surprised that we had gone 2 months because while doing this show, family, it is very rare that I go a month without one of our trans siblings being murdered, right? And so to have gone 2 months without sharing one story, I was surprised in the best possible way. But alas, since then, there have been 11. And so let us speak their names today. Shael Diamond Sanchez McCrae, Devonta Curtis, Lanisa Rodriguez, Alina Royal Bleacher, Danielle Spillman, Juniper Blessing, Murray Faust, Erica Caldwell, Spot Singleton, Luca Redbeard Knapp, and Persia Amara Conway. Now, the later half of that list were all killed in May alone. Just in May. Many of those killed have already been laid to rest and honored by their loved ones through memorials and vigils. Spot Singleton's family is currently raising funds to lay him to rest, but they remember the 29-year-old as, quote, a wonderful, giving person who touched countless lives. As a proud member of the transgender LGBTQ+ community, he embraced his true self and brought warmth and kindness to everyone he met. A scholarship was created in honor of Murray Frost, a 22-year-old trans man who was an art student at NKU. Other cases are currently under investigation, as is the case with Luca Redbeard, who detectives believe could have been a victim of a hate crime. Trans people should be able to grow old. The life expectancy of trans folks vary, but most don't make it past 35. Danielle Spillman, a trans woman, killed in a hit and run back in April. Well, she was 74. According to Remembering Our Dead, which is a database dedicated to remembering and archiving the loss of trans lives, since the beginning of the year, 94 trans folks from around the world have been killed. Something has to change. Federal protections for trans folks are constantly being challenged by this current administration. The transphobia is at an all-time high across this country. And so it's up to the people, it's up to us to protect and support our trans siblings right now when violence against them is at an all-time high. And y'all already know, time, talent, and treasure. Volunteer someone, give up your time. You've got something you're real good at. There's lots of organizations serving trans folks who could use your talent. And if you've got treasure to give, there's plenty of trans organizations who are doing the work on the ground or are equipped to do it, but they need the funding to keep going. Give if you can. This is how we get through these moments together. In politics, the Trump administration catches another L, and child, we love to see it, okay? I love, when the Trump administration loses again. And this time they did it in the DC Federal Appeals Court when they came to the decision that Trump's trans military ban was created with the sole intent to, quote, harm a politically unpopular group, persons who identify as transgender, end quote. The decision was around an injunction around the policy. Now, y'all know this military ban came to be as a result of numerous executive orders Trump signed at the beginning of his new term. This particular order, titled Prioritizing Military Excellence and Readiness, or Executive Order 14183 for short, essentially was written as a means to remove trans people from the military. It was just that simple. You know his buddy and the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, the most idiotic Secretary of Defense we have ever had in this country, added that people experiencing gender dysphoria lack the, quote, honesty, humility, and integrity, end quote, required of military personnel. In February of 2025, Pete Hegseth introduced the Mathis policy, a policy written with outdated terminology and prejudice rhetoric that had pretty much ensured that trans and non-binary folks would not be able to join the military. And those who were serving had to conform or be separated and possibly face being discharged altogether. Shortly after that policy was enacted, the DOJ began to remove people they saw as a violation of the new policy from the military. And you all remember us reporting about this. People had to either self-elect, yes, to retire, because they were looking at medical records. They were going back to see who could be trans. Family, we have a volunteer military, a military whose recruitment has gone down year over year. And they're on a witch hunt for qualified, and honestly, sometimes overqualified trans and non-binary folks who are willing to serve a country who won't even see them as fully human. This administration is so exhausting. And here's the thing. The Trump administration has no evidence to back their claims in the court of law. This idea that people who have experienced gender dysphoria lack honesty, humility, and integrity is the farthest thing from the truth. And there is no evidence to back up their claims because there's not true. Like, you know, it's like I'm reporting on these stories and it's just so far-fetched. It's just so ridiculous. And even when I try to go through it, I'm trying to read my script, family, but it's just so ridiculous. In this case, Judge Robert Wilkins called them out on their BS. Thank you, Judge Wilkins. He wrote, quote, in this litigation, the government has not attempted to defend or provide any factual basis for these disparaging characterizations of American citizens. The record shows that the purpose of the Hegseth's policy is to target applicants and service members who express what the administration believes is a, quote, false gender identity. Judge Wilkins had much more to say, okay, in his 108-page opinion after the ruling, but I think this quote really sums up this piece perfectly. He said, and he wrote, the government has not told us what legitimate interest it has in preventing a woman from joining or remaining in the military because she used he, him, or they, them pronouns at some point during their lifetime. And I cannot think of one. End quote. Family, it's important to know that the ruling only serves as a protection for trans and non-binary military personnel who are currently serving in the military. But let me tell you something, it's still a major win, it's still a major precedent, and we love it when the Trump administration takes an L. Because people who have given their life to military service, it truly is their life and their families' lives and their benefits. This is a major win for them. And because of that, it's a major win for us too. It's hard to believe that it has been 10 years since the tragedy at Pulse Nightclub that claimed 49 innocent lives. And Equality Florida is calling on people to join their 10 days of action leading up to the 10th anniversary on June 12th, which is Friday of this week, family. The campaign aims to, quote, remember the 49 lives taken, reflect on the power of community, and recommit to the work of creating real, long-standing change. Back in March, the Pulse Nightclub was demolished. Do you all remember us reporting about that? The first time anyone has touched the nightclub since 2016. In its place are plans for a memorial dedicated to the 49 lives lost. Though many were sad to see the nightclub go, the designers had them in mind when working on the concepts for the memorial, stating that, quote, to preserve the emotional and psychological connection many individuals have with the original Pulse nightclub, and to ensure these symbolic attachments are never removed from the site, elements of the Pulse building are being incorporated into the design, including a portion of the dance floor, which will be preserved beneath the reflecting pool, the breach wall, salvaged in whole, to be preserved beneath the memorial, and recycled concrete from the original building to be utilized within elements of the overall memorial. Other elements of the memorial include a water wall, a reflections pool, a tribute wall for the survivors, a private gathering space, and an angel ellipse honoring the 49 lives lost, with individual columns for loved ones to lay items of remembrance, a healing garden, prism plaza, and a visitor center. The visual mock-ups for the design were revealed on March 5th, with current construction anticipated to end in 2027. I've taken a look, family. It is really beautiful. Given all the turmoil around the nightclub since 2016, so many hands have touched it, so many controversies. These designs look really beautiful. If you're in the Chicagoland area and would like to honor the lives lost on the 10th anniversary of the Pulse Massacre, join the Second City Sisters on June 12th for an evening of remembrance, reflection, resistance, and joy. The event, Love Still Dances, 10 years after Pulse, will start with a procession through the Boys Town neighborhood, also known as North Halsted. Following the procession, attendees are welcome to dance and celebrate before the event concludes with a communal blessing. May we never forget Pulse. May we never forget the lives that were lost. May we never forget the people who survived. And may we never forget the hate that fueled that awful act. Now feels like a great time to take a break, take a breath or two, okay? And when we get back, let's jump into some culture and entertainment and talk about how we surviving out here. Stay close. Pride is more than a celebration. It's community, visibility, and joy. This June 20th and 21st, celebrate Pride Month at Chicago Pridefest in North Halsted. And the headliners do not disappoint. Durand, Neek, Willa Ford, plus incredible drag performances, live DJs, local vendors, food, cocktails, and thousands celebrating all weekend long in North Halsted. Whether it's your first Pride Fest or your yearly tradition, this is the place to celebrate together. See the full entertainment lineup and festival details at pridefestchicago.com. That's pridefestchicago.com. This is the Pride event you don't want to miss. Have you subscribed to the newsletter yet? We are on Substack now. What are you waiting for? queernewspod.substack.com. queernewspod.substack.com. Visit, put your email address in, then hit upgrade. Go $5 a month to really help us sustain this work. Family, we all we got. Welcome back to the show, family. Now let's get into some culture and entertainment. People are running faster than Durand did to get his Grammy to purchase tickets for Kehlani's world tour after it was announced that he would be joining her. The duo announced the news via social media, promoting the tour and Durand's new self-titled album, Bernard. The new album features 17 songs and is seemingly an ode to Durand at different stages in his youth. The world tour kicks off in Las Vegas on Juneteenth, we love that, and continues on to make stops in Canada, the US, Germany, France, the Netherlands, the UK, Belgium, and Portugal. For those in town during Chicago's Pridefest later this month, on June 20th, Durand will be headlining, at 2 p.m. And so this might be your chance to hear some songs from the new album live. I will definitely be there for that, okay? Tickets for the tour are currently on sale and it's a range, $57 to nearly $500, okay, before taxes and fees. So do your thing. Be in the space, huh? Come on, two queers on tour, on a world tour. Yeah, it's a must-see. And I'd also say something we should experience. We really should. Get your tickets, okay? You already know. It's on Ticketmaster. For our last story today in culture and entertainment, women's sports is on fire. It is a moment, and I am so glad I get to experience it. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend a private grand opening for the second women's sports bar to open in Chicago called Level Sporting Club. Located in Wrigleyville, the sporting club is described as a Chicago sports bar leveling the playing field through its dedication to showcasing women's sports, paired with elevated bar food crafted by a Bib Gourmet recognized chef. Let me tell you something. I had these crab rangoon cheese sticks. I didn't know it could be that delicious. I had so many, I can't even tell you. The space is beautiful. It's 2 levels. When you walk in, it's a normal sports bar that you would expect. Beautiful hardwood floors, open space, plenty of seating, televisions on either end, and a beautiful bar. You go downstairs, it's a whole nother vibe. Red light special. I felt like I heard TLC playing in the background just to me. And there's a piano, so it's meant to be a piano bar vibe. It is totally different down there. They have their own bar, own seating arrangements. It's a vibe. The sporting club, owned by Clarissa Flores and led by an all-woman team, including Jennifer King, aims to uplift women's sports on a level unseen by fans of women's sports in the city. As the first Black woman to coach in the NFL, King recounted to ABC 7 just how tough it was to find women's sports playing in bars. She said, "I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a sports bar out to eat and have to try to find the women's game," King said. She wanted to fix that. We don't have to ask that anymore. We don't need permission, family. So if you're in town for WNBA's All-Star Weekend in July, catch me there that Thursday, co-hosting with my homie Shayna of the Bad Queers podcast. We're doing a queer WNBA trivia night. It is going to be so much fun, okay? So Level Sporting Club, okay? It's going to be the place to catch all the action. Now it's time for Anna's Got a Word, because Anna's always got a word. And my word for today is together. Yeah, together, because today was a tough episode. You know, we really do try to balance out the tough stories with the good stories. And sometimes it doesn't really feel like it's enough of a balance, you know? Because sometimes what needs to be reported on is tough. It's hard. And it's not always the things that leave us feeling good about the world and the time in which we're living in, you know? But all I see up and down my timeline, all I see in my emails from the queers, child, are these gatherings, these times where we are getting together. Some in organized events, some of them are just meetups. There are gatherings happening because we just know how important it is to be together right now. How important it is for us to organize together, to spend time together, to eat together, to drink together, to just be together. And so that's my word for today, is that if you are sitting at home, you know, or at work, and you just feel lonely, you feel depressed, you feel lost, you feel like everything, all the progress that we've made is going backwards. If you have all those feelings, you know, go to the internet, wherever you're located. Find an organization, find an event, find something where you can be together with people who see, love, and respect your humanity. Because it is only together that we'll get through this, okay? All right. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace. If you've enjoyed what you heard, rate and review us inside your favorite podcasting app. This podcast is written and produced by me, Anna Deshawn. Podcast editing by Ryan Woodhall. And brought to you by E3 Radio and distributed on The Cube. We are Queer News Done Right.